A FAM production for all things mattress. FAM.news.
I think when this episode airs, you're going to have to go over to fam.news and look at the imagery, and I want you to guess, is it real or is it fake? This guy is 100% real, we think, but he could be projecting some sort of image up on the screen right now as Quinn and I get ready to talk to Preet with live Furnish. We don't know if he's real or if he's fake. You're going to have to listen, follow along, and even send us questions to find out if this thing is even happening.
Welcome to the Dos Marcos Show with Mark Kinsley and Mark Quinn, where mattress and furniture leaders gather to grow, get the inside scoop, tell stories, and take tequila shots.
Uno, dos, tequila!
Welcome aboard. Here's your passport to a planet filled with the mattress industry's brightest minds and biggest ideas. Meet your guides.
I'm Mark Kinsley, President and CEO of Englander.
And I'm Mark Quinn, co-founder of Spink & Co. and VP of Sherwood Bedding.
Together, they are Dos Marcos.
The galaxy's greatest mattress podcast has liftoff in 3, 2, 1.
To be honest, when was the last time you threw a baseball?
Threw a baseball? Probably years.
Yes.
Now, softball, because Gabby played softball, but it's been a while for a baseball.
Oh, so you throw underhanded.
Nope.
That's how you throw a softball. I've seen people do it.
That's how you pitch a softball. You should tune into softball. You can see they actually throw it overhand. And I know some softball girls that would kick the crap out of you, by the way, for saying that.
That's how you pitch a softball. You pitch it underhanded. I clearly
said
pay attention.
That's how you throw a softball. That's different.
No, I said that's how you throw a softball, Mark Quinn. Not all people.
No, not at all. Anyway, there's a point to you asking me the question.
Hey, we can go back and we're going to
re-roll it. All
this
right.
is on the record.
So you're asking me for a question.
I go outside and play. Well, hold on. I got to tell you about throwing a baseball for the first time in a decade yesterday.
That's what I'm...
The ball came at me from my nephew, and it literally looked like it was wagging back and forth and zigzagging at my eyes. And it did it twice before that part of my brain and my body kicked back in. And I'm like, the ball is coming at you. It's not a bullet. It's not an illusion. Like, you don't have stuff coming at your face that quickly as an adult very often. And so once it kicked back in, I'm like, okay, now I can play baseball again. And I was in it.
So be honest, did you scream like a girl?
Did you
scream like a girl and get out of the way?
Are you saying that girls scream?
Yes.
And they also throw underhanded? Why are you saying things like this?
Don't you dare. I am saying, Preet, you shut up. Kinsley, I'm saying that. Anyway, Kinsley, I'm glad that you screamed like a girl and got out of the way, because you could have got hurt, and then that beautiful face of yours would have been like all marked up, and you had a black eye. And
here he goes, trying to change the record. Is it real or is it fake? He's trying to create fake news.
So fake.
Hey, I want to chime in here. It's funny because across continents where we play cricket, we make jokes of people for throwing underhanded too.
Yes, and I'm gonna turn this into the USSSA Association of Softball Players, and we're gonna have all of those girls all over the country coming after you two bozos. Anyway, so I'm glad though. Was it fun? Did you have fun with your nephew? Was it cool to like get it back out there and get the ball in your hand, get the glove on your hand, and
had a blast, man. Yeah, my arm is actually a little bit sore today. We threw so much, but it's like anything. I can go and play golf right now. Or if I were to go play cricket with Preet, like if I don't do that motion very often, your body ends up being sore, and that full on happened.
Yeah, it's so true.
So if I were to go out and throw right now,
absolutely agree with that. I mean, dads would watch our girls play softball, and I'm telling you, this was like when they were 12 and under, and so we decided to have a dad-daughter game, and the dads, being more on highly driven, egocentric males, were like, we're gonna crush these girls. They kicked our butt because, you're not used to watching a girl throw 40 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour, and that ball coming at you, Kenzie, to your point. It was not pretty. And all the wives were making fun of us. I won't be doing that again.
Well, it's a good thing you guys had health insurance as a bunch of old guys out there. And look, if you didn't have health insurance and you were a member of Nationwide Marketing Group, And you remember, you could have had health insurance very easily because that's one of the new programs they've actually launched exclusively for independent retailers and their employees. This is super cool. Health insurance is a big, bad animal to deal with for a lot of people.
It's a big one. And a lot of people are trying to solve for it. It's a cost concern. It's sourcing it. It's the implementation of it. But look, check this out, Kinsley. So Nationwide just announced that they're launching the channel's first and only health insurance program exclusively for independent retailers and their employees, partnered with Locked-in Affinity, affordable medical coverage to retailers from coast to coast without creating any administrative work for Nationwide members. That is a huge deal because just having to manage and implement that stuff is a big problem. So here's the good news. It's you're eligible in all 50 states. No waiting periods or deductibles, which I know from personal experience is a big problem. The waiting periods anyway. Competitive rates, no restrictions on age or pre-existing conditions. That's huge. Individual and family plans. Plus, you get telehealth services. So you can like go online and tell them that it hurts when you do this, and then they'll prescribe some medication for you or whatever they need to do. But anyway, really cool stuff. Nationwide, constantly on the doorstep of innovation and always trying to figure out cool ways to bring added value to their members. Also, don't forget August 15th through the 18th, the Nationwide Primetime event. You got to be there. Little Big Town, going to be performing, Kinsley, and we are going to be speaking there also. Lots of great stuff about Nationwide. Go check them out, nationwideprimetime.com or nationwidegroup.org. Nationwidegroup.org. I had to think about that one. I got hit.
Nationwidegroup.org.
I got hit in the head with a baseball this weekend.
When I see you got hit in the head with a baseball, luckily I didn't because I can catch. Hey, I do love that Nationwide is making this easy because when you make things easy, it just really has a huge impact because all the stuff that adds up at independent retail compounds and creates craziness, and sometimes you feel like you're running around with your hair on fire, and then you really need health insurance at that point. Other friends of ours and sponsors of the show, making things easy, door counts, and we're talking 1, 2, 3. You want to making more sales is as easy as 1, 2, 3. One click of a button, you're going to see your salespeople connect with customers as they walk through the door. Boom, that camera is going to grab them, connect them to an upboard, connect them to a salesperson. Click number 2, you can record the outcome, sale, no sale, or a potential sale. And the third click lets you see those key performance metrics from any device, anywhere you are, any place on the planet. Check them out at doorcounts.com. Holler at them, tell them Dos Marcos sending your way. Don't lose any more sales. And by the way, the brand new redesigned dashboard is where it's at. I mean, it's really cool. You got to check it out. Another thing you got to check, you know what we got to check out, Quinn? We got to check out our Colonial LLC FAM branded rain jackets. We got to check them out, like check them out of our body.
Yeah.
Because these need to go.
You know what?
You know why? Because we got some new gear.
We do have some new gear. And I just...
We've
been showing the guys' jacket, but check this out. This is the one they sent for the ladies. My wife loves it. It's a great color. Look at that. Very cool. So anyway.
I like that color just myself anyway. I like
you
that.
Do.
It's cool.
Because you throw underhand.
But dude, check this out. Take that off. Take it off, Quinn.
It off.
Oh,
Arkansas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, hit that. Oh, Quinn's crawling up on the pole. Look out.
Yeah, so are we ready?
All right, open your gift.
I'm so excited.
Wes and Tim and the team from colonialpromotions.com. Check it out. Okay, open it up. Now describe it for us.
So when I opened this up, I didn't know what was in it, but I have to tell you, like the customized box, which is what we're talking about here, very cool. So it's got a front open fliplet. Look at that, Kinsley. Right on the inside. Can you see that?
A bunch of Dos Marcos
You
heads.
recognize those guys?
Here, I'll zoom in with my camera. That way we can see it easy.
I love that. And so a customized box. So the whole thing's lined. And then, when I get in, there's this really cool freaking snapback trucker hat. I don't know what makes it a trucker hat. Do you? Huh? How about that? We can use this when we're playing baseball.
Let's find out. Let's see if we feel more like truck drivers when we put it on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's truck
Look at
rat.
that. Not bad, right?
10 and 2, sir.
10 and 2. 10.
And then on top of that, I'm not even going to tell you until next episode what's inside of this. We have a backpack full of gear. And by the way, this is really cool. 2 features I love about this backpack from colonialpromotions.com. Number 1, well, 3 things. It's got the fam on the front of it. Number 2, it's got a padded laptop sleeve. It also has this mesh insert on the straps to make it cooler. And also, it looks great if you are walking. It's got the luggage trolley. That was it. Luggage trolley pass through, so you can actually put it through the luggage. It's got the pass through, right? You know what I'm talking about? Because you don't want to hang this over your back as your suitcase on wheels is doing all the work. You just combine them now.
Just combine them, and it's got this really clever
You know what I'm saying?
tag. You can, instead of using the straps, you can just hold it like that and just carry it like this over your shoulder. You know what I'm saying?
Only somebody carries it like that if they throw underhanded all the time.
I know, and you should stop doing that. You really should. Preet, are you done with this yet?
This is the luggage pass through right here. It's kind of hard to see, but you can toss this onto your suitcase. And anyway, check out colonialpromotions.com. And by the way, I don't know if you've been there, Quinn, but they've got a cool welcome fam listeners up at the top, and you can view this week's product. So go to colonialpromotions.com. Right up at the top, you're going to see the fam branding, just like on this Colonial hat I've got on. And then you can click on the product of the week, and you're off to the races. And by the way, this is how they started. You know, they do mattress foot protectors and shams and pillow shams and all that fun stuff. In 1976, Colonial started doing hats. So I feel like we're getting back to the roots.
I love it. Do you think they could print a shirt for us with?
Who are you talking to?
Nick just came home and he was like, he was supposed to give me some medicine from the pharmacy, and so he didn't know I was doing a show, and I was just letting him know. But anyway, you think they could do like a shirt with Preet's picture on here, just like a big shirt right there, Preet?
Hey, call him up and ask him.
Hey, keep it on the shirt, man. Don't go anywhere with it.
You think you can put it on boxers for us, Wes?
Depends on what you're into.
So true, Preet.
I don't think they want to like have that much demand flowing through their business at this moment for Preet boxers. They might be like, we don't know how to handle this right now.
The whole first part of this show has been chaotic.
What's up, Preet? Tell us something good.
Hey, things are going good, man. It's good to be here with you guys. Trying to finally have a chill conversation with people in the home furnishings industry. It's rare. It's nice.
It's rare. What do you mean? What do you mean? Just be able to like kick back, put our feet up like we actually would if we were in each other's living rooms. Pour a drink. I've got a drink. There's something in it, and just have a good conversation. So, Preet, tell people about yourself. Tell people about Live Furnish, because this is one of those shows that I think is really important for people, because there are trends at work in the industry that a lot of us haven't seen coming, and they bubble up very quickly. And the company you lead is really at the bleeding edge of one of those trends. So tell us about you. Tell us about Live Furnish.
Yeah. So I'll go back a little bit. It kind of started by someone like me who's got very little ability to visualize things, and trying to be a good son, helping my mom with her living room and putting things together, what rug goes with what kind of sofa, goes with what kind of paintings. And, you know, we went from store to store, we customized stuff, we looked at fabrics, we looked at finishes. I was like, there's got to be a better way to look at it, you know? Like, I can't visualize for shit in my head how it really looks and how it will look in my home. Like, it was just impossible. So I'm a graphics engineer, more math and physics focused. And I was like, I can build that, you know? I think I can do that. So we started building, right? We started building, and 4 years now? 4 years fast forward, we built a graphics platform. It's think of this, right? Anybody who sells online or produces catalogs or does photography knows that 3D, CGI, all of that exists, but there's no real easy way of doing it, right? Where do you go? What do you do? Most people I meet, and when we talk about 3D, they give me either of two answers. I've heard about it. I know it's the future, but I don't know where to begin, right? And the second answer is, I've seen it. It doesn't look realistic, right? Now, two points. A, the world is changing fast. What 3D looked like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, it doesn't look like that anymore. It looks, we have a term that we call hyper realism, which means it's more real than real, right? You got to add defects to it back again to make it look real because it's too real to be true, right?
It's like that moment. I remember I got a new TV, and I'm the guy that doesn't buy a new TV very often. I probably had one sitting in a wooden box on my floor like way too long before I should have had like the flat screen. And I got this new TV and I put it up on the wall, turned it on, and I remember I was watching Mad Men back when Mad Men came out. And I had to back up. I'm like, this looks too real. Like I need it to look a little more fake because I jumped too far forward in time. I should have made it more incremental. I need to be on a better TV buying schedule, clearly. Is that what you're talking about? Like it's too real. Like I gotta dial it back just a little bit.
Yeah, because also the problem is that people have sometimes tried it and they've burnt their hands with it, and now they're apprehensive about it. But what's interesting now is everybody knows that they got to focus more on digital. Everybody knows that they got to do more e-commerce, or they're looking at it. And also in their heads, they're saying, we need more imagery because the online market, other than the retail market, survives on content, right? It's how much more content can you produce, at what quality, and at what speed. Those are the only three things that are essential to making sure that people recognize you, feel comfortable about putting you in that short list of products that they're going to go and look at the store before they make a purchase, right? If you don't make the short list, you don't make the sale for a young or even middle-aged consumer because they're spending that much time online looking at products, right? Now, that's sort of where we are, where we feel like we're trying to make it easy. We're trying to make 3D accessible to everyone. We have a lot of companies now in the mattress industry that are using us. Mark Quinn's one of our customers. Mark, do you want to tell something?
Well, hold on. Before we get into him telling something, can you describe how Mark Quinn is as a customer just dealing with him?
It's going to be interesting because here's what I say before I say anything. I'm the tech guy. I'm not the sales guy, right? So Mark's interesting because Mark wants to do a lot of things. And the most interesting thing is he describes what he wants in graphics by a whole lot of text. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark, he tends to be, shall I say, thorough with his descriptions. Either that, or does he just need to get to the point?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because that's what we're helping him do. We're helping him visualize stuff, right?
Well, okay. So Quinn, I want you to describe that, but let's pump the brakes for a second. Preet Singh, CEO, founder of Live Furnish. If you go to livefurnish.com, you can get a better sense of what we're talking about. But what Preet is getting at least for the home furnishings category, is really far beyond, in my opinion, a team that can go on this Live Furnish platform and easily take a product, put it into an environment, and make photorealistic images. That's one facet of what this platform can do. And in an effort to curate and bring ideas to the surface for our industry through the vehicle of this podcast, we want to make sure you know about things like this, because just like Preet said, we are moving into a very fast-paced digital environment where content is going to be a requirement. And I know, Quinn knows, Preet, you know, we all know, retailers know, if you want to get imagery, a lot of times in the past, it's I have to design a set, I have to get the product there, I have to get a photographer. I have to make sure lighting is good, and then I have to get the images and select the images and do the output and do the editing, and on it goes until you have that final finished image that you could then put on a website. Well, Live Furnish pretty much is the easy button for all of that. You literally don't even have to have a product there. Like, you could take a Spink & Co mattress, an Englander mattress, like a photograph of it on a good iPhone, and the Live Furnish platform can turn that into what looks like a photorealistic finished mattress. Then you can have that with a New York City skyline in the background, or sitting in the middle of a field surrounded by sheep. And you don't have to ever have a team or real stuff happen. It's all happening digitally through Live Furnish. And so when we heard about this, we're like, pump the brakes. Like, people need to know, because this is where it's going to move. And I tell you why. This is my opinion. It's going to move this direction because it was already moving this direction. It got fast-tracked by COVID and the pandemic and the shutdown and the separation. And all of a sudden people said, we need a different way to do it. Oh, this has been like in our to-do pile for the past couple years. Let's actually do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, you hit it right on the point, because you can not just produce beautiful images, but you can also customize by taking different fabrics, different finishes from different companies, and decide on what your product needs to look like, even during the product development cycle. Helps you save money, helps you save time, and also you can do it so much faster without producing waste. That's what one of our customers is doing too now. They're focusing on reducing waste and also making them more nimble in terms of how fast they can go to market.
I'm always shocked in our industry, by the way, how few people in the past have come at product development with intention versus let's go see what the fabric suppliers, the ticking companies have. Let's just go check it out and see what they have. I'm like, why shouldn't you map that to your brand? Shouldn't your brand inform where you're going to go? Well, this allows you to do that. And like you said, with a lot less waste. We got to circle back. Wait, what was the question for Quinn?
Well, I'm just going to sit here and listen to you guys. I mean, there's no point in me saying anything. I think you guys got it all figured out.
Well, when you got two guys that throw overhanded, the guy that throws underhanded is probably not going to get a chance to
you need
chime
to
in.
really check yourself. We need to go to a batting cage, and we'll see. We'll see how it works out. No, Preet, when I first talked to Preet about it, there was a big learning curve, because when you first get into it, you're like, wait, you can do that, and you can do that, and you can do that. And then all of a sudden you start expanding your thinking, right? And so we were doing what a lot of people do. And if you have a new line or 5 new products or 3 new products on the bedding manufacturing side, then you go get a photographer to come in, you order samples, you make samples, pay for samples, you ship them to the photographer studio. You have a stylist on set, you have a lighting guy, you have a photographer, and then you go through all that, the time it takes to coordinate it, to order the samples, to do all of those things, versus being able to go to Live Furnish people. And Amanda's really terrific and has worked really, really well with us to help us understand all the capabilities. But you take it to the Live Furnish people and you say, this is the construct. It's a Eurotop as an example. Here are the fabrics that need to be draped on there. This is what the gusset looks like, the tape edge, the box spring, all of that. And then they take it and then they turn it into an image that is so good. To your point earlier, Kinsley, it looks like you don't even have to. It looks like a normal bed would have looked if you would have snapped a photo of it with great lighting, right? And so you can bring it to life. So it brings up so many options for you. So number one, product development. We had a conversation with a retailer recently, and we had some tweaks we wanted to make to the fabrics on the bed. So what do you normally do? You might send them a swatch or a hand sample, whatever. But in this case, we really constructed the bed that they were looking at with the new fabrics using Live Furnish, and it brought it to life in a completely different way. We had a retailer where they wanted to put some new beds online and they needed them quickly. And it was going to take a long time for us to actually produce those samples and get a photographer, get on his schedule. And we did it very quickly. And we had them images in a really cool room setting. And we had those posted online. So there's so many different things you can do. So it's a cost savings for sure, but there's also a time savings, and it gives you some variety. Like you can literally, any room you can think of, you can build it. If you want country living, if you want modern, if you want anything in the Tuscany era, whatever it is, you can do it because those guys have made it really handy. And so, yeah, man, at first when I got a hold of Preet, I'm like, wait, okay. So I'm hitting him with all this stuff. And he's like, calm down. It's like, and he's like, yes. And so I don't know. I've really enjoyed it. I can't even tell you, like, the reaction we've had from people has been so very positive because of the versatility of it. And most importantly, because of the output. And Preet, you said it, I'm going to flip this back on you. It is so important these days that if you're not in the digital space and you're not looking at, so whether or not you're even selling something, like we don't put on clothes that don't fit and go out and go to big important meetings because it's a representation of who we are. It says something about who you are. Well, guess what? So does your website. So do the images that you put up on the products that you're serving. Silo images, silhouette images, just on a white background. It's one effect. But you put it in a killer room setting, it brings it to life. So there's so many parts like that, right? And so what are you hearing from, the people you're doing business with? Like, what is the thing that people are most surprised by or happiest about when they first start doing business with you guys?
Yeah, that's a cool question. The one thing there's two comments I want to bring up. One thing I hear constantly is we're never going back to photography again. It doesn't make sense for us anymore because we're getting better results at a tenth the price, and we have full creative control in-house, right? Because a lot of times you lose creative control when you send stuff out. Whereas a lot of companies want to keep creative control over how their product looks in-house, and they can do it at speed. That's one. One of our customers, I can't name, but they recently said to us, I love this quote. I wish I could put it on my website. They said, so you're selling crack and cocaine. Now you got us hooked. Now we're going to keep coming back to you, right? And all I asked them was, why do you think that is? And they're like, there's no possible way that once we use your product, and it came back to point number one, that we can even consider photography anymore because it's just not making sense for us anymore. And that's what we love to hear.
We're in the mattress.
And there was a moment in time.
Sorry.
There was a moment in time whenever 3D was what you described.
Yep.
You could tell. I mean, the average person could tell. I mean, it's like whenever we put up an audio story on fam.news, we do an audio story with every single written story. It's not a robot voice. It's real people. And you can tell. But we've gotten, that's what scares me a little bit. We're almost to the point where you can't tell it's a robot voice. We're not there yet. But with imagery, you can't tell. The average, I mean, it's like you said, it's gone beyond realistic, and you almost have to dial it back to get it too realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's also interesting to that point is it's not like mattress industry, a large majority of people are trying to get their game up going for producing good images. But the next step is already here, which is video produces 10x more engagement, right? Now, if you go out and start doing videos for all of your products, and if you do them physically, we just launched our feature last week where companies have started to do videos on our platform. And they can do full, beautiful, realistic videos. And it's not just a video of the product. If you have any kind of movement, like a motion base, or you want to show how the mattress can move, you can do all of that and put it in a video, and you can do it in a few clicks. And a couple of hours later, your video gets delivered to you.
That's incredible, especially when people are on a website and they just want a quick visual representation of what does this look like when it articulates in a head up, foot up position on an adjustable base. Boom, you have proof, you have evidence. And this is what we talk about all the time. As a principal, you can't just tell people, you have to show them. You have to prove it. You have to prove that it does the things you say it's going to do. And it's expensive a lot of times to prove these things. So anytime we can make it more accessible or make it lower barrier to entry or reduce the risk and reduce the cost at the same time, I'm like, yes, we're in on this. Because look, I mean, I'm going to bag on us a little bit, but we have an integrity issue in the mattress industry as a whole. And we're constantly trying to overcome that. The good actors in this industry want to connect the consumer to the right information and accurate information. They don't want to misrepresent things. So it's kind of cool to think that we can use a system that is really plucking these images and these visuals out of thin air, obviously with some inputs, to better give consumers accurate information because they want confidence of an outcome, right? They want assurance. And so, whenever most shopping starts online, whether they end up in a brick and mortar store or not, we have to start connecting those dots, and we have to, consistently try to repair the integrity issue we have in this industry. And this helps do that. It's kind of funny to think that it helps do that, and it's not even real.
Because one of the questions I ask a lot of companies is, whenever I'm sitting with the owner or the CEO, and I say, and I'm candid about it, I say, why don't you have good photography? And I just put it out there straight. I say, why don't you have good photography, instead of saying, what do you think about your photography, right? And some people laugh at me and say, you're calling my photography bad. And I say, well, I think you know it, right? And in a lot of cases, people say, it's too expensive and I don't understand the ROI, right? And which is a fair point, right? People a lot of times don't understand what the ROI is of going out and spending $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 on a photo shoot, and how long can they continue to use it? Because a lot of times we see, by the time the photographs come in, the product's already been on the floor for a couple of weeks or maybe a month or two. The photographs need to come in before your product ever hits the floor. And that's why it's important for you to go digital, right? That's why it's important for you to be able to get there. And we learn from our customers, and we see like some of our customers are going beyond that are using our platform. They're producing the digital realistic imagery of the products and running a small market research on it to decide what should go to market, right? A lot of them want to go to market only with the heavy hitters, like all of us do, right? But they're able to do research now because the customer is unable to say whether that is a fake image or whether that's rendered or it's a real photograph. And the customer really doesn't care. If it's an actual representation, it's an actual representation. And they're able to do research and say, these products are more likely to get me more sales, right? So it helps you in that decision-making process.
Which is kind of interesting because there's so many people in the mattress space that will take a product to market, literally to the Las Vegas market, and it's almost like throwing spaghetti against the fridge and see if it sticks. Then they'll go and they'll say, wait, we got great signals from buyers about these products. We're going to greenlight these four, and let's go create assets for these four models that are then going to go out in the marketplace and be sold at retail. But yeah, it's what a low barrier to entry way to say, you know what, let's actually float these ideas to our dealers ahead of time with these features and benefits and these images, and get a signal ahead of time before we build the beds.
Preet, let me ask you a question. So we're talking about manufacturing a lot. Let's talk about retail, because I don't know, I can't quite figure out if this is actually more compelling for a retailer or if it's more compelling for a manufacturer. Because for a retailer, I mean, a lot of these big guys, I mean, they're shooting how many different room scenes and sofas and dining rooms and other case goods, and so they're constantly having to create content and to feed their websites or marketing materials or television commercials or anything that needs some kind of visual with it. I would have to think that this is an absolute grand slam home run for the retailers out there. Are you finding that? Is there Is there that kind of interest coming from the retail side of the industry?
Oh yeah, we're adding retailers onto the platform every week. And here's the interesting story, right? I always ask my customers, why do you think you should use our platform before they sign the check? Because I want to know. I'm like, what do you have in mind that excites you about our platform? And I want to know your perspective. And here's sort of what's coming out of retailers for us. They're saying, A, we don't get enough content from manufacturers. We need more content to be able to put it, because most of them have an omni-channel approach now, right? They're putting it on Facebook, they run their website, they have their own e-commerce store, they're attracting customers, they're sending out mailers, they're doing everything, right? They need a lot of content. And secondly, retailers, they may be buying beds from someone else, mattresses from someone else, wall art, foot protectors, different products from different companies. But when they're curating their collection, they want to put all of their products in an image, not just what the manufacturer sent them, that part of it they may not even sell. So what retailers want to do is they need an opportunity to cross-sell and upsell as well when a customer walks in. Now, if they have imagery that's specific to them, that's where it gets pretty good, because they can now say, this product from vendor X versus vendor Y, and I can merge all of these products together and create my own look shots. And now, why is that important? That's important because today a lot of retailers are spending money to produce their imagery. They have in-house photo studios. They'll either outsource it sometimes. They'll have someone on staff that's doing it. Now, when they get on our platform, they're able to digitize it, do it faster. But think about it. As a company or a manufacturer that works with us, would you not want to supply your 3D files to your retailers in a secure platform where they can do their own imagery with it, thus helping you sell more? That's something that we're seeing more and more as manufacturers that are on our platform are giving access to their products to retailers on our B2B sharing platform, which is made on top of Furnish, for retailers to be able to save cost and accurately represent their products in beautiful images.
But don't stop there. It goes all the way back to the component supplier, doesn't it? I mean, it could even be that. I mean, it could be a guy that's selling handles for mattresses, or, a headboard, or, some kind of aesthetic, right? Or even top of bed, where you're trying to say, okay, here's the mattress, right? And I had some guys do this for us in a presentation. Like, what does that mattress look like with this cool foot protector and pillow on it, right? And so it can go all the way back to the raw material or the component supplier, not just the manufacturer and the retailer. And then it gets everyone in the same ecosystem, right?
Yeah, interesting thing. So I worked a lot with aerospace and automobile companies in the past, and my brain thinks of everything as like break everything down into components and see where it comes from. Now, mattress sticking, for example, when you get mattress sticking, Culp being one of our customers, it's so easy if Culp's library is accessible to someone who buys from Culp to be able to pull their fabrics. And it's not just fabrics, it's design data, which has metadata with it. Now, metadata is what SKU is it? What kind of repeat size does it have? How does it lay on the mattress? How big will the motifs or the designs look? All of that is already put in, right? And when you do that, you're able to, as a manufacturer, pull in data from your component supplier or your fabric supplier and not have to replicate stuff. And it's all available. Now imagine this. Let's say one of the fabric companies that you buy fabrics from is working on new designs, and they're able to digitally deliver it to you without producing samples. Further ahead, you're able to digitally deliver your finished mattress with foot protectors, with pillows on it, and you're able to deliver it digitally to your retailers, to your buyers, to your e-com partners, to everyone. And that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to say, hey, this is what you guys need to be on. And this is just my opinion. I'm not preaching here. What I'm saying is we're seeing more and more adoption of this because people see the value of being able to reuse the same assets and them not being created at every stage of the supply chain.
When I think about maybe in the simplest terms for, let's take a furniture manufacturer who sells to a furniture retailer.
Yep.
You know, if I'm Elements and I make all these different products, all these different furniture products, and I sell, to a furniture store that, has, like you said, this furniture store has to put out content, whether it's in their circular, their magazine, their website, their emails, and on it goes. Well, Elements has a huge catalog of products. They have all these different dining room groups and, all these different side tables and sofas and case goods and on it goes. Well, the moment that I, as a retailer, need to build that flyer, let's call it, just for the sake of simplicity, I've got to put all that Elements furniture into one spot. And, if I'm trying to get ahead of the game and the shipment hasn't arrived yet and I purchased it at market, but I'm ready for this big promotion that's going to come up for Labor Day, for example, I'm trying to get ahead of the game. I got to have the physical product there. But if I have access to the full catalog of products from Elements, I can pull that in. I can place it where I want in a virtual environment. I can have these beautiful room sets and scenes and all these different configurations. Bam, it's ready to go. It's ready to go when the shipment arrives and we're off to the races. Yep. I mean, that is a common issue for furniture retailers and mattress retailers. Like, they need all these different room sets and scenes built. And they're like, if I'm going to do a photograph of this mattress, I might as well have some side tables and some headboards in it that I sell. I might as well have some of the drapes that we can do custom that our store provides. But you got to have access to that stuff. Otherwise, tons and tons of labor and hassle and headache and oversight and then mistakes and reshoots and on it goes. Those days are going to disappear. To me, guys, that old way is throwing underhand from center field.
Kinsley, I could not disagree, and I'm excited for you to try the overhand thing. I think you're going to enjoy it. I think you'll see that you can get more power.
Is it like, do you do like a rainbow motion, or how do you actually do it? Is it like a candy cane type motion?
I was watching your YouTube instructional video on how to throw underhand and scream like a girl, and that's how you said. I was like, it's just got to be a rotation. Preet, you can take me out and teach me cricket.
It was a deep fake.
What?
Somebody did a deep fake of me and they put it up on YouTube. And I know this is possible because we got Preet, and Preet does this.
It could have been
Preet.
Preet.
So don't pull this shit on me, Preet. I'm sick of it.
People deep fakes. Yeah.
You cricket players.
Hey, I did hear this. This is true. I heard that they're doing, whenever you watch a movie and they overdub it, right? So the movie was, shot in French, like Le Pont. Le Pont's a great show, by the way. But they dub it, and people prefer not to read captions. They would rather hear it overdubbed. But it gets annoying because the lips don't match. It's old kung fu movie style. Yep. But now they're developing deep fake technology that can change the movement of the mouth of the live actor, so they're going to look like they were speaking English instead of French. That's the next level. You guys are probably going. You probably can't tell us everything you're doing, Preet, but if you can give us a little bit, come on now.
Okay. So interesting thing, right? The next step for us, and I like to talk about it because it's an engineering problem that needs a lot of work to solve, is we've automated lighting, rendering, room scene creation, all of that. The piece of the puzzle that's missing till now is the creation of the 3D models. That's still manual. We've been able to automate a little bit of it, but we're working towards it, right? What gets interesting is if we do computer vision along with machine learning and build the right data set and have the right resources producing models, we will slowly be able to go from a CAD file or a picture of a mattress to boom directly into a reusable 3D format of that product. Because it will estimate, it will build data and components and textures purely from the image that we produced, like image that we clicked. And that's what we're trying to do now. We're trying to say, is there a way where we can use machine learning with computer vision to automate even the part of 3D model production? I don't know if you guys heard, Apple actually launched ARKit 2, which has the ability to click pictures of a product and generate a 3D model based on photogrammetry, which has been around for a while with other tools. But the reusability part, where you have really nice, imagine a Photoshop file with very clearly defined layers. You can manipulate everything, you can change things out versus an image.
Versus a flattened image where you can't manipulate anything.
Yeah.
But you're talking about doing this in a 3D environment.
Yeah. We're trying to build that 3D layered data, fully automated, so that the world doesn't have to then spend a whole lot of time building 3D models.
You and I talked a little bit about like what is next. So I like where Kinsley took us there, and we were talking about augmented reality, virtual reality, and 3D, getting things so close that it looks real. Like what's keeping that kind of thing from happening? Is it computing power? Is it knowledge? Like what is it?
So we support AR. It's supported out of the box. We've had it from the start. I love augmented reality, but we never talk about it. There's a reason, right? The difference, the journey from buzzwords to actual implementation is actually a very long one, right? Augmented reality has been around for long. The first time I produced something in augmented reality was almost 10 years ago, right? With a webcam. Yeah. Now, when we're looking at augmented reality, everybody's like, you can place it in your home, you know exactly how big it will be, all of that. Great features, love it. The reality is different, right? I follow my customers before I make something for them. A lot of retail stores selling home furnishings around where I live in North Carolina are pretty pissed off by seeing me over and over again and not buy anything, because I'm following customers to see how they buy, right? It interests me. And what I realized is, before you buy something, there's 2 or 3 steps. You look at something. If it pleases you, then you sit on it and see if it's comfortable. Then you check the price and then you buy, right? So it's 3 or 4 steps. The price and the comfort can be interchanged, but if it doesn't look good, nobody's even going to check the price on it, right? Problem with AR, you can do all the features of placing it, but it looks like shit because it's real-time rendered, right? The real-time processing is happening on your phone, and that's why it looks bad. At the end of the day, when you're building an experience, what are you trying to do? You're trying to sell more. You're trying to convert more, right? But if that experience leads to conversion going down, you don't want that experience. Here's the interesting thing about buzzwords. I love this. They will say, we launched augmented reality and we had 60% of users try it and experience it, which is a great number. The number I want to know is how many users out of that tried it the second time, third time, and fourth time. It goes down to, in most cases, goes down to 1%, less than 1%, right? The problem right now is, don't jump the gun. Build your 3D strategy. Decide that you need to have 3D data, and then there's 50 ways of using it. Decide which ones come first. Do your imagery, do your videos, bump up your conversion, sell more, and then go into experiences, because the same data is used for experiences, right? That strategy part on 3D is so important because you're going into a new era and a new world of tech. Like it's like the first time someone implements an ERP, right? It's not that complicated. Don't get me wrong. 3D is simple, right? But the first time you're going at 3D, you need to have your strategy clear in your mind. What am I going to do with it? I'm going to produce kick-ass imagery. I'm going to do really beautiful looking videos. I'm going to use them in 50 different places, right? Then I'm going to build experiences for my audience. On top of that, I'm going to share my data because I already spent time and money producing it. I'm going to let other people in my ecosystem use it and benefit from it so that my sales go up even further. Right? That's the way to go about it. And I'm saying this as someone who spent his whole life in the computer graphics 3D visualization world, right? AR is great, it's going to come. VR is great too. But VR right now, the largest implementations you see are in the field of gaming and training, especially for oil and gas plants, power industry, that kind of stuff. VR is going to come. I don't know how many people over the age of 40, 45 actually like wearing a VR headset for over 5 minutes.
Makes me nauseous.
Right? As that
what your brain processes and what you're seeing, it makes you nauseous. Do you think you could like take a picture of me and like make me look more cut for like shows like this? You know what I'm saying? Like really build me out. Like,
is that possible to be more cut than you are?
I don't know if it is. That's what I'm asking. I mean, but this guy's super smart. Preet, what you got? I mean, can you hook me up?
Let me do this. Let me scan your body, and then I'll decide what I
don't
need
think
to
you
do.
want to do that. I don't think you want to do that. Now, Kinsley, on the other hand, you could probably do that with him, but.
Well, I'm just worried that like if any of the three of us got the files of each other's bodies, like what kind of like mutation we would make or what sort of like alien planet person that we would present to each other. No, this is what you need to look like.
The only question is if you'd make things bigger or smaller.
Some bigger, some smaller, Preet. Some bigger, some smaller.
Well, hey, you know, I bet around the office, like what kind of like computing power, what kind of visualization powers do you have where you can play office jokes that are like more, we're like graphical 3D guy office jokes versus the normal, you know, confetti cannon that's falling on somebody.
Yeah, we've built a lot of our own servers. I like hardware too. So I've built most of the servers that we have, and now the team builds more. We're also on the cloud, so we have a hybrid approach. But it's interesting what you can do. We're a good 3D artist on your team, and we have a lot of those that if they don't like you sometimes, they can go pretty far with what they can do with you. I've been on the receiving side of that, so I know.
We might have to save those stories for part 2.
Yeah.
So Preet, last thing for me, I just want to know, like, you know, so some people can go look at a house, the real estate market's super hot, and they can walk into a house that's, you know, maybe been lived in for a long time and the wrong wallpaper, the rooms aren't configured right. And they can go in and go, oh my gosh, I love this place. And you're like, what are you talking about? This place is a dump. They're like, no. We can take that wall out. We can do like, they can get there quicker. Right. But there's a lot of people that can't. And I would argue that there's probably a lot more people that can't than can. And so just talk quickly about that, like just the ability Live Furnish gives to manufacturers, to consumers, to really visualize the end game and see it in a way that it would have been impossible to do without using your 3D technology.
Yeah, that's an awesome question. See, being able to visualize things is a gift, right? Not everybody has it. I don't have it. I surely don't have it. But what you can do is you can bring your visualization to life and show it to people, right? Like, why does something look beautiful is because somebody visualized it in their head and finally put it together. The gap is always visualization and then putting it together, right? The putting it together is where things go wrong. On the platform, you can make mistakes. You can make as many mistakes as you want. You can iterate as fast as you want until you get to the look that you like, right? It takes the unknown out of the picture. And that's why we're seeing people with no design skills are able to produce kick-ass imagery because they know what they want. They know what looks good. They just had no way to put it together before. Does that answer?
The way that people have been putting it together are probably the same way, you know, I'll do it. My wife and I have to sit down and say, okay, we're redoing a room. I want to make sure that she and I are on the same page before we go make any purchase, because then you have to drag it back out and it's a huge hassle, as you know. And so I would like clip things and cut things from the websites, and then I would put them into like a PowerPoint presentation and kind of overlay things. But it's the same concept. So just imagine, being able to do that, as a brand and present these ideas to consumers. And I'm sure, the evolution of some of these things could be that, these either your platform or the manufacturers or the suppliers can help people understand more design theory, why you put a loose pattern with a tight pattern, and why you shouldn't put, certain colors together, how color schemes can work together. And so you can start spitting out some inspiration environments, which I think is very important, because we always talk about it's easier to edit than create. The creation piece is really tough. So I can only see this growing and being more beneficial. And like you said, all of this has to cascade down from supplier to manufacturer to retailer and ultimately to the consumer.
Absolutely. And what you said is really cool, because it's so much easier to pick a template and make it yours than it is to create a template from scratch, right? And that's the approach we take. We say, here is 500 beautifully curated templates. And as we're adding, we've had photographers in the home furnishing industry reach out to us and say, I want to join your platform because it's taking me far and beyond from what I have been able to do traditionally, right? And what we're now doing is, instead of saying, no, we don't want photographers on here, we're saying, come join us and curate for our customers, right? Curate what you've not been able to curate till now, what you want to do, but the budget doesn't allow or the place doesn't exist. And now you can put that together and let all our users use those beautiful settings and produce their imagery.
500 are sitting on the shelf ready for anyone to import and then start customizing.
Yep.
It's a pretty good starting point.
Yeah, it took a while, but we got
So, Preet, what did we miss today? We've talked about a lot of stuff: time savings, money savings, effort, stress, first impressions, the importance of that. What have we missed? Can you think of anything that, like, if you were going to, in closing, sum it up or share with the audience, like, what would it be?
Yeah, two things I would want to highlight, and this is something we've learned from our customers, right? One, enable your sales team to use these tools. When you enable your sales team to use these tools, they become better, they become faster at closing deals, because the question of visualization is out of the picture. The customer gets to see what they want to see, and your sales team is able to handle more customers and close more orders. And I'm not saying this out of an assumption. I'm saying this after running the platform and doing a study with a few of our customers and saying, yes, it has helped them in terms of their sales cycle has shortened and they're able to close faster, right? That's number one. Number two, I'd say, is build your digital 3D strategy. You got to decide on how you're going to pick this up, where you're going to go. If you want to do that, I'm happy to do a free consultation, or my team's happy to do a free consultation. We're not, again, I'm a tech guy. I'm not the sales guy at my organization. It's not my problem if you don't buy from me. The idea is I want to make sure that you take the right approach and not make the mistakes that we know that some of the people that are now on our platform made in the past. Those would be two things I'd want to highlight. And give a shout out to Culp Home Fashions for them being so helpful in teaching us this trade so well.
What do you mean by that? What did Culp do?
So Culp's one of our main customers, the first customer we ever had in the mattress and mattress sticking industry. They taught us how the mattress industry works. I would really say that they caught on to the vision, and they enabled sales, marketing, design, creatives, their whole organization to be able to seamlessly share design data, to be able to use our product to customize for their customers, and then Now they're taking it forward with Reimagine, which is powered by Furnish, to their other audiences where they can showcase their designs and people can reuse without them having to constantly produce a lot of samples. They told us that they've gone more green because they're not producing as many samples anymore, thanks to what we're doing with them. And it's a great experience to go see them, because every time I step in that office, I learn so much more about the mattress industry, being an outsider, because it's an industry that needs a little bit of time to catch up with, like to really understand the nuts and bolts of how this industry works.
Well, I had a big smile on my face recently, Preet, because we are developing a new product line for Englander, and we were reaching out to our suppliers, and the digital files I got back from Culp had your fingerprints all over them.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, that's a great story and a great shift, hopefully, in our industry to do things more efficiently, do them better, do them with more intention, save on waste and go green, all those things you described, and ultimately just make every step in the process easier, so that people can concentrate on the things that add value, instead of taking away. Absolutely. And hey, Preet, how can people get in touch with you? We know they can go to livefurnish.com. Are there other ways people should reach out?
Yeah, you guys can, anybody who wants to reach out to us, you can, of course, go on the website. We're also pretty active on Instagram now. You can reach out to us on Instagram. We reply really quick. If you want to reach out to me, I can put my email address in, and feel free to hit me up. I'd love to speak to people in the mattress industry. It would be fun to see what you guys are doing.
It really is one big fam, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And now you're part of it.
And you can always reach out to Quinn or I, and we'll get you connected too. We talked to Preet quite a bit, so holler at either Quinn or I, and we'll make sure you get a nice warm introduction.
No doubt. And awesome. Preet, thanks for taking time with us. I've worked with Preet, and outside of just the business relationship, I'd say that he and I are friends, and he's a fun guy to hang out with. He's super smart, kind, generous with his time, and he wants to help. And so I highly recommend, if you don't have a digital 3D strategy, give these guys a look. Live Furnish is where it's at. There's no doubt. They've done great stuff for us. So I'm a 5-star review for you, Preet, and all of your team, by the way, John and Amanda, all those guys.
That's a customer speaking, man. That's a customer speaking. That's not somebody else. That's a customer speaking, and I'm
telling you, it's real. I don't play with that stuff. So anyway, everyone go check him out. And speaking of reviews, Mr. Kinsley, for anyone listening to the show, we hope you will go to iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast shows, and give us a 5-star review, 4-star review, 2-star review, whatever it is. Just give us the review, and more importantly, share this content, because you know what. Preet said a lot of really smart stuff today. There's a lot of really relevant information that could apply to a lot of people. So just grab it, forward it, and share it with someone. And we'd appreciate that. So gosh, fellas, I'm going to go practice my underhand pitching strategy. So the next time I see you guys, we're going to play cricket, and then I'm going to play baseball, and I'm going to smoke you fools. How's that?
Well, Quinn, you just do me one favor. As you're practicing, just gather as much footage as possible and ship it my way, and I will do the rest. I don't think
that's going to happen.
Hey, I'll make a deep fake of this song.
You know what? It's going to. I know it's going to happen. So I'm already keep your guys in India over there working on more important things. All right, Preet, thanks again. You're awesome. Your team is awesome. And hey, have you ever heard a mattress wrap video before? Well, check this one out.
How do you hear a video?
See a video.
How do you know what?
Coming from the guy who buys television in boxes? I don't think so.
Bounce with it. All right. What is a hybrid? It's like peanut butter jelly, peanut butter chocolate. Hybrid so tight, there's no way.